Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
All right, welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast with Kevin and Chuck. Today we're going to talk about first aid kits or medical kits. I don't know, there's a lot of different types, and you can buy all these pre-made things. You can go to like Sam's Club and buy your $20 first aid kit, and they always come with those big honking plastic tweezers and all this crap that's not good for anything. I guess we're kind of going to get into, for different locations, one you're going to have in your house for your day-to-day, one you might keep in your car, one that, you might need in more of a tactical situation, more with your bug-out bag or long-term, maybe some medications you guys might want to carry. The different stuff to being prepared, because a big, something can go from a little problem to a big problem depending on what you have to take care of things. And I guess that's what we're going to get into, so maybe you guys are ready when something comes up.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out, too, that if you don't know what the hell you're doing, it doesn't matter what supplies you have. It won't be very helpful. Uh-huh. So I think, I was looking at triage.
Yeah.
The word, basically, it's evaluating.
Can we put letters on people's foreheads?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Well, it's you're evaluating who's going to live regardless of when they receive care.
Okay.
Who's going to die regardless of what care they receive, and who can benefit immediately. Somebody with serious bleeding that, you can bandage up, that's at the top of the list.
Put a little duct tape on that shit, and we're good to go, right?
Yep. So I wanted to start out, basically, we'll talk about, maybe the types of things you have in your house. What's in your closet, what's in your medicine cabinet, what's in your first aid kit. I have basically a whole closet dedicated to my first aid kit.
That sounds impressive.
And
is it full of tampons?
Yeah, there's tampons in there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
There's also I think extra things of toothpaste and stuff in there too, but that's a side of the point.
All right.
But I was kind of embarrassed recently. Couple days ago, I was out in the woods with my dog, and I cut his foot up pretty bad.
Okay.
So he was leaving, bloody paw prints all the way home through the snow. I got him inside, and I had enough to disinfect the wound and, wrap it up with bandages and things like that. But I had to go out afterwards because I didn't have enough bandages for when I changed the dressing. So, obviously in a prepping situation, that's not ideal. You won't be able to run out to the pharmacy and grab extra bandages.
Right.
So, I had bandages that didn't have the gauze wrap to wrap up the wound after I put the bandage on.
A lot of the kids do come with gauze, but I was just
most of them do. I just have used them up before.
Sam's Club or whatever, basic kits.
It's not the first time I've needed to access my cabinet for something that was somewhat serious.
All right.
So let's do basically a run through on what you might want to have in your first aid kit in your house.
All right.
You want adhesive bandages, basically Band-Aids. I like the cloth ones because they don't
tape,
fall off. Right. I like paper tape is real easy
Okay.
to use. You know, it's strong, holds together, but you can rip it with your hands if you don't have scissors right there. Safety pins are also good for that. You want some sort of antiseptic. They have like the antiseptic creams.
So like iodine or
Iodine's good. That's what I used for the dog because obviously he's not going to sit there and wait for me to pour, rubbing alcohol on his paw. You know, he's just going to look at me like I'm a jerk and try and hide under the kitchen table.
Yeah.
So yeah, when a dog doesn't really understand that, hey, this is going to hurt. You know, you can't warn him.
Yeah.
You can do it to your kid, but you can't do it to your dog.
No, definitely like some kind of triple antibiotic ointment.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have.
My wife will always tell you don't want all 3 in one. You want to just use like bacitracin or whatever.
Right.
And that's because she doesn't want the diseases to become immune to, the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just the same, you can't stop everybody else.
Yeah.
So,
and if it's good for a big open wound, like a big laceration.
yeah.
If you don't have any of that stuff and you can disinfect it with iodine or something like that, you can smear Vaseline over the top of it, and that'll help keep the bacteria out of it. Yeah,
Believe it or
before
not,
you
you know what's
bandage it
good
up.
for getting rid of infection and stuff in a pinch? Honey.
Yeah, I've heard
The
that.
end
I've
of the
never
world,
used
if
it.
you put wild honey on there, regular honey.
Right.
I'm just saying.
All honey is.
If you have
honey.
regular honey, then you can go get your.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to the store and buy some antibiotics.
Right.
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 All right. Go on.
Tweezers now. There's different types of tweezers.
Yeah.
There's tweezers that are good for pulling eyebrow hairs out or
I like those.
hairs out of your ear, like my girlfriend was teasing me about.
Maybe I should be using one of those, but I don't think I have.
Yeah,
yet.
no. Apparently, that's where my hair's moving. But for that, you want the narrow nose tweezers.
Oh.
They're good, better for the splinters. They're better for pulling out ticks.
Okay.
That's really what you want to use.
You know what? I find I buy this. I go to like CVS and I buy this Revlon. I think it probably is like your eyebrow tweezer or whatever.
Mhm.
But I buy this black Revlon one that really seems to be great for getting in on.
Yeah.
It has the nice sharp edge for getting in on splinters.
Yeah, that's
I
what
use
you
it with
want.
the kids all the time.
Yeah, you don't
Those
want a
plastic
wide,
ones are a joke
flat
and,
head
yeah.
for pulling out ticks and things like that. You're just going to end up squeezing the tick blood back into the bloodstream and, risk a little bit more risky when it comes to
Right.
we have
Those little tick pullers now.
yeah, we have kind of bad case of what is that tick-borne disease?
Lyme disease.
Lyme disease. I'm blanking out on it. And my kid once had Lyme disease. You got to be careful with it. I didn't even see him with a tick on him. You know.
Yeah.
So you want to be careful with that. You don't want to squeeze the blood out of the tick back into you when you're trying to pull it out.
Good to know.
Thermometer. It's good just for keeping track of temperature. If somebody's feeling sick, it'll be an indicator of flu or virus or an infection. If one of your wounds
the
getting infected.
old school glass thermometer, or they have those little strips
Mm-hmm.
that you put on the forehead. You know that tell you something like that. Because the digital ones are cool, but after the EMP,
Mm-hmm. That's right. I have 2 digital thermometers, but
they're awesome.
I have
They're the way to go.
Analog one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You just have a backup.
You want scissors, sharp scissors that are small. Small scissors for cutting bandages, for cutting away fur.
They have those EMT scissors.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gerber makes a set, I think. A couple of the others, that are like, $40-$50.
Yep.
They really cut through anything.
Yeah,
and they're
that's
pretty
really
useful
what you need. Yep.
for a lot of other shit, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, you want to keep them nice, but just saying, it might be nice to invest in a little bit.
Spend a little bit of money for it.
We buy a lot of stupid things. Maybe that's a good one. So, go on.
Needle. For in case you have to do stitches.
You want? No, I actually buy sutures. You can buy. Go on eBay or Amazon. They have the suture kits.
Yeah, I think you're like the sturry strips, the one that are adhesive.
I love those. No, you can buy the needle and thread and the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap, like $20 you buy a kit. But you brought up those steri strips.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I never knew about them, and the wife, when we first got together, she, I think, either found it in one of my first aid kits. It came with it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
and she stitched up a cut on my finger that was, like an inch long and really deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I was blown away. I mean, it definitely took the place of stitches. Obviously, if the wound's so big, you're not going to be able to. But if you can keep those dry, they really do an amazing job. And no first aid kit is complete. That's one of the huge ones that I think really pays off, that I go to all the time with the big cuts. Also, I like to play with knives. And let me tell you, more often than not, I end up cutting a good finger open. Mm-hmm. So, yep, all right.
Yeah, a lot of doctors are using that now for surgery in place of stitches. They're doing those minimally invasive surgeries where they do the small.
The adhesive is really changed, where now they really stick. They really hold.
It's not a Band-Aid. It's definitely good. Now another thing to have is saline solution.
Yes.
If you have gravel and grit in there, you're not going to be able to wipe it up with one of those alcohol pads. You really need to rinse it out and clean it out.
Now, I used to buy, and I haven't bought it recently, and I don't think I've seen it in the stores recently, but they sell those cans of wound wash, which is what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But those spray cans are awesome to just get in there and clean it out and whatever, and great for the end of the world if you have a couple. Being able to clean things out really well is going to make a huge difference on whether you get an infection or not.
Right. I know a couple people that still have BBs and rocks under their skin.
We could just keep my wife around, who will happily scrub out your wounds for an hour while you're crying.
Let me get the wire brush.
She didn't like. I remember early on when we were first dating. Apparently you don't want to work out barefoot. That's a good rule. You don't want to use weights, turns out. So I'm downstairs late at night, whatever, and rocking the curl bar. And I'm just doing, a couple sets before I go to sleep, make me feel better about life. And in between sets, I set the curl bar on the weight bench because I'm facing it.
Right.
Well, needless to say, there's 75 pounds on there. It rolls off the bench onto my pinky toe. Holy crap.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It looked like hamburger.
It was bad. So, because I'm all about, keeping things clean, taking care of business. So I just wrap a freaking t-shirt on there and went to bed. I'm like, fuck that. It hurts. And she's like, you got to clean it out. I'm like, I'm not looking at it. There might not be a toe there. I don't know. I'm like, let's just go to bed and hope it's still there in the morning. I had to buy 2 size bigger shoes for a month. And, rocking that. My feet have never quite been the same ever since.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? If you go to the doctor, he's going to be, your toe's broken.
You're broken. You're fucked, Oh, we don't do anything about it.
That'll be $5,000, please.
Exactly. That was back before I had insurance. So, but that's the thing. You got to, really clean things out and try and look out for infection, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because if you don't have a doctor to go to,
that's when the stuff matters.
Right, that's when it matters. You can't just grab antibiotics at
I ignore my cut and whatever. Oh, that got infected. Oh, you have a fever. I go to the doctor. Oh, here's some antibiotics. Don't worry about it.
Right.
It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're out in the woods, and honestly, the big difference, you read all these survival stories, and you know how everybody mysteriously gets an infection. Every cut leads to infection. Well, it's because nobody's washing their hands. Your sanitary standards are not the same when you're out living in the woods. It's different. And things are going to get infected, whereas they're not in your day-to-day because you're not rolling around in the dirt.
Right.
You're not,
You're not shitting in the woods and wiping your ass with leaves.
Wiping your ass with leaves, and it's a different world. You're going to be exposed to way worse things. You need to be ready. But honestly, none of us want to get an infection. Take care of yourself.
Right.
But anyway, I'm taking you off task here. Let me...
No, that's fine. The other thing I wanted to touch on real quick is pain relievers.
Yeah. Well, did you have any other... what do you got? I got some thoughts here.
Well, I mean, you want to... One thing that I've noticed that I go through quick is bandages, gauze, that sort of stuff. Those
pads,
4x4 gauze pads,
squares, and that's it. Even 2x2, 4x4, and whatever, where you can just throw the bandage on it. I know you guys have heard me a million times say quick clot sponge, awesome. we were just talking about the Israeli battle dress, the Israeli bandage. What do you think about that?
It seems good. They're not super cheap, but they're definitely handy to have in your kit.
$10.
Yeah, so, you're gonna be, if you're looking for a couple of them, you're gonna be spending, a few bucks, but it's worth having in your kit. You know, if you can wrap up something, it's kind of like an ace bandage. It's not adhesive, but it stretches.
Buy the kind of the ones you think of, the pink ones that wrap with the little metal clip for your sprained ankles and whatever. Just being able to put pressure on something can make a big difference.
Right.
And you can use those maybe in a pinch as the cheaper version of the Israeli bandage.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Something that's going to keep pressure on it, though. The Israeli bandages are elastic, and it comes with a, I don't know what they call it. It's like a little bar there that you can tighten it up.
Twist it.
Yeah. So you can kind of regulate the pressure. If it's a big gushing wound that you need to get to a hospital, and, that's the best way. Wrap it up nice and tight. Keeping pressure on a wound like that is keeping the blood on the inside is the priority with those
blood
kinds
on
of
the
things.
Inside.
Yeah, you want it on the inside, not on the outside.
Oh, I've been doing this wrong.
But I wanted to touch on
medications.
Medication. I want to talk about pressure or pain relievers.
All right.
Everyone always says Tylenol. Keep aspirin in there, and that sort of stuff is fine. But that's not gonna if you have something that can be cured by aspirin and Tylenol, just suck it up. Don't be a bitch.
Shit.
Just you don't need aspirin.
A little harsh, Kevin.
Yeah. If you got something wrong that aspirin could fix, then you don't have something wrong.
Now I know we've actually talked about the number one killer throughout history, diarrhea.
Diarrhea. Okay.
All right. Anti-diarrhea medication.
Antidiuretics.
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the anti-diarrhea stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Huge, makes a big difference. I mean, you know what? You don't want to talk about it. It's gross. You never know. But
a lot of people
when
shit
you're
to death,
dying,
and that's not how you want to go.
Death,
yeah.
And especially when you're drinking questionable water, when you're, all this stuff. If you can take a little tiny pill that's nothing to store, and honestly, they're really pretty inexpensive.
Right. And when your water source is questionable, you don't want to be dehydrated either, Yeah. You want to have clean water to drink, and if you've got diarrhea, you're going to have to replace a lot of that water fast.
Laxatives, I've never had that be an issue in my entire life, so I don't really know that it's that important, but I always see it in the things.
Yeah, well, I drink coffee, and
now that I'm getting older, antacids, not a bad thing to have. I don't know if they're going to be a life or death thing, but they can take the pressure off and make things feel a little better.
Right.
I know that's going to help.
It's not too hard to get higher grade pain relievers on the black market. Keep your eyes open.
I'm telling you, you're always right to the black market.
I'm telling you that it's not hard to do. I'm not saying where to get it,
it's not
but
hard to do. But why do we? There's
oxycodone
enough over the counter. Hydrocortisone is good for when we're back in the regular CVS or whatever. Right. What else do I like? Like cortisone is a big one. With medication, stuff for allergies, Benadryl, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's important for bee stings and bug bites, that sort of thing. You know what I wanted to touch on was hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. That's not the ideal disinfectant. Really? Yeah, it does.
And why is that?
It does damage to the tissue as well as the infection.
That's why it always turns white and nasty.
Yeah, and your skin
but you know
peels up.
What's the awesomest thing, though, I got to point out? When you get a splinter and you put peroxide on it, it just brings it right up.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh, it's the awesome. So if you're
I'll have to try that.
Digging and you can't get in the freaking skin, and you're like, oh, that's buried so deep, I'm just going to leave it and I don't care. Put peroxide on it and go back in an hour and it'll come right out. Because it expands like the wood or something, and it rises right up.
Yeah, I used to know a guy that would use it as mouthwash, and that always grossed me out.
That is gross.
You can get mouthwash too. That's just as cheap as hydrogen peroxide. It's gross. Don't put that in your mouth.
No.
I mean, yeah, it'll work. It's
I'm
just
willing
gross.
to say technical foul.
Yeah, it's gross, man.
All right. Now, I do have some things I could add to the list. You want to keep going?
No, keep going. Go ahead.
You're all right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, safety pins can be useful. Might be a cool thing to throw in there.
Yeah.
Just like if you're trying to work out a sling or do something cool.
Mm-hmm. Help hold the bandages together in place.
When it's there.
Yep.
Not something I've ever had in mind, but I read it and I was thinking about it, is those aluminum finger splints.
Yeah.
You break a finger, it holds it all in place nice, it's easy. The thing is, if you can go to a doctor, like in an everyday world, you don't need something like that, because you can get to a doctor, they can straighten you out, whatever. Right. But in the end of the world, when there's no doctors, if you can just work something out that easy as, put it on and fold it in the right spot. Excellent. That's huge, you know? Hand sanitizer may be a good thing. And they always say rubber gloves.
Yeah, latex gloves. That was something not on my list. That it's a good point. Having those around handy is...
Now, not to knock them, a lot of the first aid kits come with a little first aid book. Like how to,
Right, how to.
First aid manual. Right? So that might be cool. Cotton balls and Q-tips. Not 100%, but I think Q-tips can be an issue sometimes where, they could really help out.
I used that just the other day on the dog's paw when I was trying to clean it out.
Right, or even just getting in there with the triple antibiotic or whatever.
Right,
exactly. Who knows? That's really all I wanted to add. Duct tape is actually maybe useful, but that's in your go bag or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, do you have, what different stuff might you keep in, your car one or...
Well, one of the emails we got was talking about a kit for going to the gun range.
Okay.
So, what would be different there? The quick clock is definitely, obviously, in your gun range, you don't have a whole closet. You have, your first aid kit. So, what's going to be in your first aid kit there? Chest seal. That's not something you would necessarily have around, but, if you can seal up a punctured lung, that can add a lot of time to get to a doctor. A collapsed lung is
really
not
just a nice plastic 4x4 bandage. You
can make that out of a Ziploc bag. You can make it out of a trash bag, but having something that's designed for it, much better. That's basically what happens is your lung is bleeding outside of the lung, and it's pushing it closed. It's causing pressure, and it's pushing it closed.
Okay.
So you put the seal on there, and as the air comes into the lung and drains out, it comes out. But it seals back up and doesn't let air suck into the inside of your chest cavity, causing your lung to collapse. So that's positive. You can survive with a collapsed lung for maybe a day or two, but you got to get to a hospital. If you get shot in the lung and there's no hospital, you're fucked. Yeah, that's it. You're done. So don't get shot in the chest, after the apocalypse.
Good to know.
Medical tape you want, rubber gloves you want, disinfectant you want, and you want to have a good stockpile of bandages. Right. With a gunshot wound, it's a puncture wound, there's a lot of blood, you just keep packing it. If it starts bleeding through the gauze you have on it, don't take those off, just put more gauze on top and wrap it up. So you're just trying to stop the bleeding as best as you can. Just keep going over top of the same wound, and
keep pressure, huh?
Yeah, keep pressure. If you go online, you can find some pretty decent gun range kits, medical kits.
Yeah.
Practical Trauma has a couple. They have tactical gunshot kit, and a combat gunshot kit. So that's those are, I don't know, between $80 and $180. So you're looking at a good chunk of money.
Or you can just buy some quick clot.
What I would do is go online.
Because I saw in Shooter, Marky Mark was like, "Fuck it, I got quick clot." Bam.
Mm-hmm.
Problem solved. He's back in the game.
What I would do if you're trying to save some money, go online and look at these kits and look and see what they have in them.
Yeah.
Because you might save a lot of money putting it together yourself rather than buying.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, if half the stuff you're going to throw out, then, you know, when they're giving you the plastic tweezers or 50 freaking samples of crappy Band-Aids. And, you know, I do got to say, though, one of the kits I bought came with, like, anti-sting relief and, you know, for bee stings and this and that, all stuff. But I gotta say, actually, now that I say that, one of the things I always actually keep in my first aid kit is Oragel. Because it numbs, and your kid gets stung by a bee, put a little Oragel on that.
Really?
Instantly. They're like, oh, it's good, thanks.
Really? Okay.
And you're like, oh, that's, you know, Oragel, honestly, a toothache.
Yep.
But, no, Oragel is huge, and actually, I buy it in the liquid in a jar. Awesome. It's paid off. My kid ended up in the woods. He was little. He took they seem to have a lot of stitches over the years. I don't know why. But for some reason, you know how cedar's all knotty and has the sharp edges. Takes a log and decides to toss it in the woods. And, of course, just hooks his forearm on the inside and just tears it open. You know, like a huge, meaty, nasty mess. It's like 4-inch cut. So I take him to the doctor, and they're like, oh, you know, here, I can do this, $2,000, no problem, whatever. I think it ended up costing me $3,000. So then the doctor goes, so when you need to get these out, what you should do is come back to the emergency room, and I'll do it for you.
Right,
and I'm like, $3,000,
yeah.
Wait a minute. So
yeah, I've taken out enough stitches to know that...
So I go get some Oragel, because this kid's a bit of a whiner.
Right.
Yeah, well, what can I tell you? So, now mind you, he's like 10 or something, so maybe you can be a whiner at 10, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's forgivable
but
at that age.
I smear a little Oragel on there, and I'm pulling the threads out, and doesn't know nothing, and everything's great. So when you're being the home surgeon, and you didn't go on the black market like Kevin suggested, Oragel is freaking huge for that. But go on.
Okay.
You're back to your thing, kind of wrapped up shooter
I
kits.
think that's the gun rage kits. Another place to check out is Gauls Inc. Okay. They've got medical kits. There's a few of them. All you have to do is search it, and you can come up with some decent stuff. And like I said, I would recommend looking at what they have in them.
Okay.
And then maybe assembling your own kit if it looks a little too pricey for you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, realistically, you're not getting away under like $40, $50. I hate to say it. If you want to be prepared. And you know what? Maybe you need to get a better job if that's going to be too hard. Now, I'm not saying you need to go put this kit together this weekend.
Right.
I'm saying over the next year, stock it up.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're at the grocery store, buy one or two things. You know, I need that triple antibiotic with pain relief. You know, bam, you know, knock it out. Yeah. Also, there are those, like, I don't know what they're called, but not like dollar stores, but you know how there's those kind of cheap poor people stores that... I don't know. I go in there,
stuff is in Spanish.
And they have all the... you've been there.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's one next to, you know, our Tractor Supply or something here, and I walk in there every time, and I go in and check it out. They have all that first aid crap.
Yeah. For
like pennies on the dollar compared to going to CVS or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe your Kmart or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the place is, but it's unbelievable to me.
I actually ran into a friend of mine at that same place a couple of weeks ago, and he was checking out. He spent something like $260. How do you spend $260 at that place?
Because I go in and I'm buying like Christmas gifts. I'm like, oh, Abercrombie and Fitch shirt, like $8. Now, mind you, they only have it in, like, infant sizes or whatever. They have all the Carhartt sweatshirts or, like, $6. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the Carhartt's sewn on crooked.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So you've been there. Okay.
Yep. Let's see here. Now, hiking first aid kit. Okay. When you're up in the woods, camping, hiking, that's when weight really matters. If you're going to the gun range, you can just stick that in the trunk of your car.
Or in your bag with, your gun bag.
But when you're hiking, you're up, you're doing 10 miles or something, you're not real close to an ambulance necessarily. You're not real close to, any place where you can really do a good job cleaning it out. But you also have to think about weight and what's the likelihood actually getting an injury.
Right.
You know, you don't want 60 pounds worth of medical gear.
That's going to do
for no
more
reason.
damage to you. Right.
So, you know, the trick with that is to kind of streamline. You know, you want gauze, bandages, but 2 or 3 usually should handle anything you're dealing with. Sturry strips, those are real light, real small, real handy. You want disinfectant, but you don't want to carry a jug of rubbing alcohol with you, you know? They have those little pads, those alcohol pads, which are good. Iodine is good. All right, well, it's, you know, the tape, paper tape, or, you know, cloth tape, roll gauze, scissors, tweezers, needle and thread, and transparent film. Do you know what that is? It's like basically a clear plastic adhesive.
Okay.
Where you can put it over the bandage, and it'll keep it from getting wet. You know, if you're in a stream or if you're even in the shower, it'll keep the bandage from getting wet and getting gross. You know, you basically just lay it over the whole thing. Usually, the ones that I have are about maybe 3 inches by 6 inches, you know. So, put a sturry strip down and then that on top of it.
Yeah, I've seen that play out. And that's that.
That's that.
All right.
Keep it lightweight.
No, I get ideas and I want to jump in, but I'm like, I don't want to cut them off. All right. So in my work van, I keep it pretty simple. And maybe I should, you know, if I'm trying to be more prepared, I should probably have some more, but I don't. What I carry is this spray bottle. It's called Bacitracin. It's a disinfectant.
Okay.
And because I'm cutting my hands and putting them in disgusting things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to be able to spray it at least with, you know, disinfectant and clean it out. I come out, usually when I get cut, I end up putting electrical tape over it to keep it from dripping blood all over their carpet or whatever when I'm doing a job. I come out to the truck after, I spray it with the Bacitracin, and then usually I just put more tape back on it, close it up. But, all right, whatever. So, that I have a packet of Quick Clot, because I may get shot, I may shoot somebody, I may be in a car accident. Any of those 3 scenarios, I might want some Quick Clot. Number 2, I have a little pill bottle filled with Motrin.
Okay.
And that's really it.
Yeah, it's a good step up from Tylenol.
I like Motrin, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. The wife's always big on it, so I just go with whatever. It's easier to keep one thing. Mm-hmm. It's funny, somebody came to our house and was like, oh, do you have Tylenol? And I'm like, oh, I'm the prepper. I have my huge bag. And I go through and I'm like, I don't have Tylenol anywhere. Mm-hmm. I actually just went out and bought some just because. And it turned out I finally found some, and it had expired like 5 years earlier. So I'm like, I don't freaking use
No, I'm making fun of Tylenol, but I have like a big industrial-sized jar of it in my closet.
Oh, well, I buy Motrin in bulk. Mm-hmm. And, I have Motrin through the end of the world. We're good. That actually, I keep allergy medicine like Zyrtec or whatever, and kids are always banging that and whatever. It seems to get them through the day.
And that's another thing that I didn't touch on. That's with medications is the allergy meds.
Yeah.
And keep some Dayquil and NyQuil.
Yeah.
Tablets in there too.
They're easy enough for your permanent bag. So like I said, in my work van, it's not much, but it's something. Because, how often do you freaking have the pounding headache in the middle of the day? It's maybe once every couple months. Mm-hmm. But it sucks when it happens, and you're like, oh, I have to stop at 7-Eleven and pay $8 for freaking 2 Tylenol or something,
right. You know what I noticed, and I told my kid about this, is if you gotta have a headache, and it's not from banging your head on something, if you just have a headache, start by drinking a glass of water.
Yeah. Yeah. Dehydration is usually...
Right. And it's easy to get dehydrated enough to get a headache without noticing it.
Yeah.
Oh, I drank a cup of coffee and nothing else today.
Right.
That's
I find if I smoke cigars, it dries me out.
Yeah.
And I end up,
having to have something to drink.
Or I need to get, something. But maybe I just want Southern Comfort with my cigar, and that's my excuse. I don't know. But,
yeah, if you spend all morning drinking coffee and all evening drinking beer, you're gonna be dehydrated. That's.
I've had that play out.
Yep, you gotta
read that coffee doesn't dehydrate you like people think. That if you're drinking, they say it's equivalent to drinking water, and just.
Oh really?
I know. I didn't believe. But I know I get a headache if I just drink coffee all day.
Right.
So I'm with you. I don't know. Anyway, moving along. So the other story I had, back to having sutures, and actually what turned me on to that, buying my own and doing my little own surgery kit. Well, one is because you watch Roadhouse, and he does it. He's a man, and I'm like, shit, I should be a man like him.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, what happened is, same kid who had the stitches in his arm thought it would be cool to tie his cowboy holster belt to the top of the bunk bed and swing. Turns out that plastic gun belt wasn't as secure as he thought it was. So he goes to swing like a pirate, because that's what you do.
How old was he at this point?
4.
4? All right.
4. Bangs his head on the bookshelf behind him. Busts way open. Like, damn it, you can see, like, skull. I mean, it's
a
way
gusher.
open.
And scalp wounds
scalp
wounds gush blood.
So, me who's like, never go to the doctor, I'm like, yeah, we gotta go to the doctor. So we go to the emergency room, and of course, this is back when in the Navy, and so the Navy ER is like, oh, you think the regular ER you're waiting 3 or 4 hours?
Mm-hmm.
The Navy ER is like, 10 hours, something like that. So we come in, and there's like blood gushing everywhere, and I'm trying to stop it. The lady's like, well, here's some paper towels. Just push these on his head. I'm like, really?
Thanks.
So we wait forever. Eventually we get in there. I don't even see a doctor. I just see some corpsman guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we end up having, this kid's freaking out. We end up having to put him on one of these stretcher boards with the Velcro straps.
Uh-huh.
Like where they're afraid you break your back or something, the backboards. So we strap him down. He's ripping out of the Velcro, and it's bad. So
hulking at it.
The guy's like, you gotta hold him down, and so I'm freaking grabbing him down and the whole thing. The guy's doing the stitches, and he goes, well, I really don't like that you came in here for this, because this is the kind of thing you should be taking care of at home. And I'm like, really? He's like, well, you've done stitches before, like on a dog or something. And I'm like, no. Sorry, I'm going to have to go with no. And he's like, yeah, you need to learn and do this. Just watch me and pay attention so you're not coming back next time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I guess. And I'm sure now they'd be like, oh, that's child abuse when you're doing stitches on your kid. But at the ER, they were like, this is how you need to do it. So I was like, all right, no problem. So, but anyway, I went online, found a bunch of kits, and I was like, oh, this is pretty easy. It's kind of cool. Something to do, and again, it may pay off in a pinch. But I thought you wanted to know that story. I don't know. Who knows?
No, I've, if you've ever come across somebody that had slit their wrists, I don't know if that comes up very often.
Played out for
That's
me.
Actually, I've been involved in that twice, actually.
Twice?
2 times.
All right.
First one, I wasn't actually there.
Did you consider maybe you need to select a better class of friends?
Well, yeah. Yeah, actually, yes.
You didn't consider that. All right.
One was somebody in the family had basically went out on a crack or a coke binge. And then when they're coming down, they're having a hard time because, you used up all your good brain hormones, and then now you're just depressed and feeling like shit. So he was in the bathtub and decided he had a box cutter, did it. And did it right. You want to go, if you're trying to kill yourself, you want to go up and down, not perpendicular to your wrist, not across.
You don't go in line with your arm,
right? In line. You want to open up the vein all the way up. Right. And he did it the right way. So, of course, his grandmother comes in the bathroom and finds him passed out in a bathtub full of blood.
All right, this does sound like a familiar story I may have heard. Okay.
Yeah. I wasn't around that one. That was a big, rush to the ambulance thing. Yeah. That's basically what happens when you do it right. One time I did encounter that a person had done it the wrong way, perpendicular to the wrist, but they had done about 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
And, it was good gusher. But with that sort of thing, first aid is key. You want to put pressure on that immediately. Stop the bleeding as fast as possible. Before you go to the doctor, what you ought to do, and what the right situation to do when you come across that is what your brain does naturally is panic. Panic and call 911. You
should panic.
You should
Call
panic.
911.
Yeah, I mean, don't panic, run around screaming, but call the ambulance immediately. Then get pressure on it. So, with that sort of stuff, when you have those gushing blood wounds,
get to a doctor.
You need to get pressure on it and get him to emergency care. It's the same with a gunshot wound. If you get a gunshot wound, get pressure on it, get a doctor.
Yeah. And just because you can kind of stop the blood from what you can see squirting out, not always completely resolved, just so you know. All right.
Right. Something like that, you can't bandage it up until it's okay. You really need to get stitched up.
I did have a buddy of mine, and who does a lot of woodworking, working with the wood chisels. They can be sharp.
Right.
You can get into trouble. So sure enough, and he's been doing it for years, whatever, and ends up stabbing himself in the wrist, cutting the artery, and blood squirting out everywhere. Luckily, apparently, he just got his wife, got in the car, and went right to the hospital. And they were like, thank God you didn't call for an ambulance because you would have been dead. You were losing so much blood and whatever. So they stitch it up, same thing, like we're talking about. And they close up his artery and cinch it off. And that's the thing. If you can get in there and dig in there and find the artery and close it off, that was that Black Hawk Down, right? That guy with his leg, and it was gross, and they're digging up there, and he's like, I gotta find it, and he's got the forceps.
And they showed everything in that.
I was horrified. Anyway, so this is, what happened to this guy. So they get in there, and they close it off, and he's like, all right, so do we have to come back and do some reconstructive surgery and all this? And at the ER, they were like, you know what? Other veins will all of a sudden start carrying the blood, and your body will take care of itself. And even though it was a main artery, it didn't matter. They were like, yeah, other veins will just take over, and they'll become the main artery, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that just kind of blew my mind. I was like, what? You can just close them off? And
Yep. It's amazing how, on one hand, the body is so delicate,
fragile,
and and the smallest thing, you think somebody's in a minor car accident and turn out dead, and then other times the body's so resilient, it's almost designed for recovering from these types of things. Yeah,
no, it is. It's amazing. Other little tidbit I have for you: explosions and your guts bust out. Because who hasn't seen that play out?
Right.
You don't want to just push all the guts back in.
Okay.
That doesn't work.
You can't get them all in?
So
they're
what
slippery,
you want to
right?
do, they're slippery, and it's like putting worms back in there, just keep coming out. Seen this play out. What you want to do is you want to make like a pouch.
Okay.
And put their guts in a pouch and just tape it around their belly.
Like a trash bag or something?
And just hold it and carry that with you. All
just
right?
carry your guts around in this bag.
And
I guess this is what my life's like now.
You're going to try and get all those things back in there. It just doesn't work. So let me just tell you, don't waste your time.
I was looking up tourniquets.
Okay.
And it turns out,
I was going to ask you about
tourniquets. Tourniquets are, in the right situation, are okay.
Okay.
Explosions where your foot got blown off. Tourniquet.
Good call.
Cut a main artery. You want to use a tourniquet. Thing is, with a tourniquet, you want it tight enough that you're cutting off the blood.
Okay.
But when you're doing that, you have to understand that you're basically killing your leg.
Yeah.
You've got about 2 to 3 hours to get that tourniquet off to get serious surgery and get it done.
Okay.
Snake bite. Poisonous snake bite. I've been looking into this.
All right. What's the answer?
I've heard a lot of stuff. And I think the overall suggestion is don't cut it open and try and suck out the poison.
I've heard
Doesn't
that's
work.
a negative. Yes.
First thing you want to do is kill the snake if you can do it without it biting you again.
All right.
And then you want to clean the wound as best as you can. immobilize the area, keep it lower than your
Can
heart.
I bite the snake?
If you want to, yeah. I mean, why? It seems only justifiable.
All right.
I've bitten dogs before, you know.
Clean the wound.
Turnaround's fair play. Clean it out. You want to let it bleed for 20 to 30 seconds.
Okay.
Because it might take some more of the poison out.
Okay.
But putting on a tourniquet is not the best bet because
so you would
the venom has already traveled.
In.
It's already. You're not going to be able to suck it out because the venom's already gone into the body.
Okay.
There's nothing there at that point.
And that's it. When they do it, it squirts.
Right.
They inject.
It's an inject.
It's not just
and you can
there's
see
poison on it that's sitting there.
Right.
It's injected.
Right. It's gone. It's into the blood.
Right.
So you want to remove any tight-fitting clothes, or if it's on your arm, take your rings off, take any jewelry off. Right. It's going to swell up. Now, if you're just in the woods by yourself, you want to walk. You want to walk slowly until you can get cell phone service if you don't have it. Otherwise, just sit down and call an ambulance and tell them where you're at. Because the more you move, the more your blood's going to pump through your body, the faster that venom's going to travel.
They say you want to stay calm, you want to relax, because that's it. You want to slow down your heart rate.
Right. And you want to raise the bite area above your head, or above your heart, to keep less blood from pumping to that part of your body.
I thought it was the other way.
Yeah, no, below your heart. I said above. Below your heart. My bad. Keep it low.
Whatever. I don't know if it's above or below, but you want to do one of those.
Yeah, you want to keep gravity on your side.
There you go.
So don't go running. If you can help it, walk to an area where you have cell phone service, and then sit down and call them. Make sure you know what kind of snake bit you too. If you can, if you have an ambulance on its way there, and you're at your house in your backyard, you tell them what kind of snake bit you, because they may not have it at the hospital they're going to take you to.
All right.
The antivenom.
No, they don't keep a lot. Mm-mm. And I think we talked about way back in maybe episode 3 or 4.
Right.
If you cut the head off a snake, it can still bite you.
Yeah.
Go to. All right. Is that what we got for first aid?
I think that's what we got, yeah. If anyone's got some suggestions on first aid kits or something that we missed, they can email us and let us know.
Here's a link of, we can add it to the show notes or whatever. If you know, like, the right first aid kit or, the best one to buy, something you've had success with, shoot us an email. Maybe even if you just post it to our Facebook, I'll share it on there. We'll get it worked out to the people. Anything new in the news? Anything exciting?
Yeah, well, all the stuff that happens every couple months. Right. Somebody shooting up an airport and torturing handicapped schizophrenics.
We needed to see that in the freaking news. So the only thing that I saw this week, it just occurred to me, is the damn gun clubs are sending around emails again, and I swear it's got to be just like a gun store that sends these things around, because I don't know how New York could be so ridiculous. Although two things, because they are that ridiculous. They're trying to pass a law in New York that you can buy 20 rounds every 90 days of bullets.
That doesn't even make any damn sense.
That doesn't make any damn sense.
What are you going to do with 20 rounds?
That's not going to happen, but that's what they're trying to do.
You can't even target practice with 20 rounds.
Again, that's just New York, but who knows? That's from the gun club. They had some link to it. I don't know. Whatever. I get these paranoia things. I try not to fly off the handle all the time.
Yeah. But
just know there's people working against you. Support the NRA, and do what you guys got to do to keep freedom. And buy some freaking bullets.
Yeah.
Maybe if you buy some bullets, you won't have to panic when you see that we're only going to be able to buy 20. When you hear, you can only buy 20, you should be like, ha! Well, I'm glad I bought my 5,000 rounds. But with that, what else? One more thing in New York, freaking the jackasses I see in the paper. You have to go to the state police, and even though you have a concealed carry permit, register with the state that you have a concealed carry permit. And you have to do it by, I think it was January 1st, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that on the list of headaches from New York.
Right.
The reason I bring this up, I know the majority of you don't live in New York. The reason I bring it up is don't ever move to New York.
In case you were thinking about it.
He's a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
I'd freaking get my guns. The hell's wrong with people?
Mm.
But anyway, you guys want to check us out on Facebook, preppingbadass.com. We got a lot of cool articles, a lot of neat stuff you can check out on there. You also may want to check out our YouTube channel. And if you have any good ideas, any thoughts for show topics, anything you want to learn about, anything you want me and Kevin to dig deep in, maybe you want to get our take, then shoot us an email at preppingbadass@gmail.com. Otherwise, stay safe, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.